Today we are going to do the original bell chant, morning bell chant, which is located on page 3. Feel free to follow along, chant in when you're called to, or just listen. After we do the morning bell chant, we will observe noble silence until the end of service. Thank you. Vowing that the sound of this bell penetrates the universal Dharma realm, bringing white light to the black iron perimeter of hell, removing in an instant the suffering caused by the 3 evil ways. A mountain of swords is destroyed, and all sentient beings enter enlightenment together. Homage to the Master Teacher, Vairocana Buddha, compassionate Lord of the Lotus-born universe, expounding the treasured verses of the sacred golden texts contained within precious cases, written on jade scrolls. Each dust mote penetrates, and the universe becomes one. Every realm is united with all other worlds. The truth is contained in the 1,095,048 words of the vehicle's utmost consummate teaching. Homage to the Avisamsaka Sutra, expounded by the Buddha. To understand the Buddhas of endless time, just penetrate this phrase. Everything is created by mind alone. The mantra of shattering hell. Namu Ata Shijinam, Samyak Samota Jichinam, Om Baba Jiri Jiri Hum. Namo Ata Shijinam, Samyak Samota Shijinam, Om Baba Jiri Jiri Hum. Namo Ata Shijinam, Samyak Samota Jichinam, Om Baba Jiri Jiri Hum. Vowing now for the rest of my life not to give rise to extraneous thoughts, following only Amitabha Buddha. Thought after thought will constantly merge with the rays of his jade-like brilliance, each instant never leaving the qualities of his golden form. Holding a mala and bearing witness to the universal Dharma realm, empty space is but a thread, leaving nothing unconnected. There is nowhere that Vairocana Buddha is not present equally. Through contemplation seek Amitabha of the Western Shore. Homage to the great teaching master, Lord of the Western Shore, the Buddha, the Tathagata of infinite light. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. The land of ultimate bliss has 10 kinds of adornment. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. It is adorned with Dharmakara's vow, his cultivation cause. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Adorned with the power of Amitabha's 48 vows. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Adorned with Amitabha's name and the brilliance of his life force. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Adorned with the bejeweled images observed by the 3 Mahasattvas. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Adorned with the peaceful bliss of Amitabha's Western world. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Adorned with bejeweled rivers running with pure and meritorious waters. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Adorned with bejeweled basilicas with halls of wish-fulfilling jewels. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Adorned with lengthy days and nights. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Adorned with the Pure Land's 24 kinds of pleasures. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Adorned with the 30 kinds of beneficial merit. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Amitabha Buddha, who is unparalleled in heaven or on earth. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. He is also unmatched throughout the worlds of the 10 directions. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. He has seen the annihilation of self and everything in the world. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. There is no one who is like Amitabha Buddha. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. He can keep track of thoughts as numerous as all the dust motes in the universe. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. He can quaff all the waters in the universe. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. He can control the wind that fills space. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. No one can completely describe that Buddha's merits. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Amitabha Buddha is omnipresent. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Keep your thoughts on him and never forget. As thoughts probe that place of no thought, the 6 sense gates will constantly emanate light of purple and gold. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Amitabha's face, like the full moon, is at the front of the hall of ultimate bliss. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. His jade excrescence and his gold form radiate through space. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. If a person call his name for only a moment, they will instantly consummate immeasurable merit. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Along with all sentient beings, I vow to enter the sea of Amitabha's great vows and to ferry across sentient beings so that I and others may simultaneously complete the path to Buddhahood. The sublime mantra of the original mind of Amitabha Buddha. Tanyata Om Aritara Savaha. Tanyata Om Aritara Savaha. Anyata 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 Om Aritara Savaha.
And if you'll look in your ritual and practice book, there's a little handout that says incense offering, and we will read that together. Together we say, in gratitude, we offer this incense throughout space and time to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May it be fragrant as earth herself, reflecting careful efforts, wholehearted awareness, and the fruit of understanding. Slowly ripening, may we and all beings be companions of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May we awaken from forgetfulness and realize our true home. And we bow. Good morning, Sangha.
Good morning.
It's a great day today, and it's a very special day. We're having a graduation of the Bodhisattva class, and we'll be getting into that in a bit. Excuse me. Families with small children, if you need to have a little break, you can go downstairs. Anybody can go downstairs. There's a water fountain, and well, there's a whole bunch of food that I would appreciate you not eat until after. We're going to have a little potluck. If you didn't bring something, don't worry about it. Just join us afterwards. Please don't walk in front of the dais. If you have to go all the way around. There's 2 bathrooms up here, 1 downstairs. I think that's it. So let's stand and greet each other in silence. However you would like to do that. Bow, a smile. Okay, if you would turn your booklets, Rituals of Practice, to page 7. I go for refuge to Buddha, my deeply awakened mind, the living source of understanding and compassion, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I go for refuge to Dharma, the path of mindful living, leading to healing, joy, and enlightenment, the way of peace, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I go for refuge to the Sangha, the loving and supportive community of practice, realizing harmony, awareness, and liberation, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I am aware that the 3 jewels are within my heart. I vow to realize them. I vow to understand living beings and their suffering. I vow to cultivate loving kindness and compassion, and to practice joy and equanimity. I vow to live simply and sanely, content with few possessions, and to keep my body healthy. I vow to let go of all worry and anxiety in order to be light and free. I am aware that I owe so much to my parents, teachers, friends, and all beings. I vow to be worthy of their trust, to practice wholeheartedly, so that understanding and compassion will flower, and I can living beings be free from their suffering. May the Dharma and the Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. And now, if you turn your booklets over, we will do our Heart Sutra. Maha Prajna Paramita Hridaya Sutra. The Bodhisattva of great compassion, from the deep practice of Prajna Paramita, perceived the emptiness of all 5 skandhas and delivered all beings from their suffering. O Shariputra, form is no other than emptiness, emptiness no other than form. Form is emptiness, emptiness form. The same is true of feeling, thought,
impulse and consciousness. O Shariputra, all dharmas are empty. They are not born nor annihilated. They are not defiled nor immaculate. They do not increase nor decrease. So in emptiness, no form, no feeling, no thought, no impulse, no consciousness, no eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, no form, sound, smell, taste, touch, or objects of mind, no realm of sight, no realm of consciousness, no ignorance, nor extinction of ignorance, no old age and death, nor extinction of them, no suffering, no cause of suffering, no cease from suffering, no path to lead out of suffering, no knowledge, no attainment, no realization, for there is nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva holds on to nothing but prajna, paramita. Therefore the mind is clear of any delusive hindrance. Without hindrance there is no fear. Away from all perverted views, one reaches final nirvana. All Buddhas of past, present, and future, through faith in prajna, paramita, attain to the highest perfect enlightenment. Know then the prajna, paramita, is the great Dharma, the radiant fearless mantram, the utmost supreme mantram, which is capable of allaying all pain. This is true beyond all doubt. Proclaim now the highest wisdom, the prajna, paramita, gate, gate, para gate, para samgate, bodhisattva, gate, gate, para gate, para samgate, bodhisattva, gate, gate, para gate, para samgate, bodhisattva. Dhamma prajna paramita pradaya sutra.
Please be seated. Be seated. Good morning again, Sangha. Today is a very serious celebration and a joyous celebration. We haven't had a Bodhisattva class graduate since before the pandemic. I can't remember even a year or two before then. We start off with the 5 precepts. If you decide you want to officially join the practice Buddhism, whether you join this temple or not, you do the first 5 precepts, which are respect and protect all life, respect and protect the property of others, respect and protect kind, loving speech, respect and protect, oh no, your sobriety, that's 4, then sexual boundaries, thank you. And then there's 10 vows that the Bodhisattvas do, and you'll hear those later when they take their commitments. What I heard first, and what's said a lot about a Bodhisattva, is a Bodhisattva is a person that has committed to not enter nirvana until all sentient beings have enlightenment. That's, wow, really. I mean, that's the ideal, and that's what we say. But at the end of this, if you haven't ever been here, at the end of every service, into every Dharma talk, we end with the Bodhisattva commitments, and it says, all beings, one body, I vow to liberate. Endless blind passion, I vow to uproot. Dharma gates without number, I vow to penetrate. The great way of Buddha, I vow to attain. Now, if you said that, then there's something that you've decided to do, whether totally consciously or not. If you're saying that, then there's something there for you. My experience, I've never met someone that does it 24/7, that just is a bodhisattva throughout. I know I'm not, but I do hit those points sometimes where I'm truly listening to somebody, I'm truly loving them, I step outside of myself and allow the other person to be a priority. But in this world, in this reality, we can't save everyone. And an example of that is in our recovery program. I have been an alcoholic for all my life, and I have a few years now. And I have a few years in Al-Anon, which is the friends and relatives of alcoholics, drug addicts. You can't help a drug addict get sober. They have to make that decision. So if you think you can somehow help that person, probably the best thing, that's where the problem is you think that you know how that person should live, that you know how that person should straighten themselves up. Maybe the best thing you can do is leave them alone. So that wonderful idea of all sentient beings, I think that's something that I don't want to diminish, but we have to be practical. I remember it really stuck in my mind when Reverend Kunga said the provisional world. The provisional world is where we live. You, me, us, all of this. So as we go through today, this ceremony, one other thing I want to say. Some of you have probably heard this, but it's worth repeating. So there's a young boy walking down the beach, and a whole bunch of starfish have been beached. I mean, there's thousands of them. It's all over the beach. And he picks up a starfish, throws it in the ocean. Picks up a starfish, throws it in the ocean. Some man comes by, some person, doesn't matter, and says, you can't save all these. What are you doing? The boy picks one up, throws it in the ocean. I saved that one. So that's the practical part of this thing. You have to protect yourself and and be a bodhisattva to yourself and be a bodhisattva to others, however your heart opens up. So now, you have in your handouts the 5 invocation of the bodhisattvas. We'll read that first, and then we're going to do the commitment to the 10 bodhisattvas. So, we will read these together, and at the end of each reading, I'll have something to say, and then we'll go to the next one, and I will prompt you. And we begin and end with 3 strikes of the bowl. Everybody got it? Okay. We invoke your name, Avalokitesvara. We aspire to learn your way of listening in order to help relieve the suffering in the world. You know how to listen in order to understand. We invoke your name in order to practice listening with all our intention and open-heartedness. We will sit and listen without prejudice. We will sit and listen without judging or reacting. We will sit and listen in order to understand. We will sit and listen so attentively that we will be able to hear what the other person is saying and also what is being left unsaid. We know that just by listening deeply, we already relieve a great deal of pain and suffering in the other person. When we aspire to listening deeply, we are Avalokitesvara. Now, we invoke your name, Manjushri. We aspire to learn your way, which is to be still and look deeply into the heart of things and into the heart of people. We will look with all our attention and open-heartedness. We will look without prejudiced eyes. We will look without judging or reacting. We will look deeply so that we are able to see and understand the roots of suffering and the impermanent and selfless nature of all that is. We will practice your way of using the sword of understanding to cut through the bounds of suffering, thus freeing ourselves and all our species. When we aspire to be still and look deeply into the heart of things, we are Manjushri. We invoke your name, Samatavara. We aspire to practice your vow to act with eyes and hearts of compassion, to bring joy to one person in the morning and to ease the pain of one person in the afternoon. We know that the happiness of others is our own happiness, and we aspire to practice joy on the path of service. We know that every word, every look, every action, and every smile can bring happiness to others. We know that if we practice wholeheartedly, we ourselves may become an inexhaustible source of peace and joy for our loved ones and for all species. When we aspire to act with the eyes and ears of compassion, we are Samantabhadra. We invoke your name, Krishna. We aspire to learn your way of being present where there is darkness, suffering, oppression, and despair, so we can bring light, hope, relief, and liberation to those places. We are determined not to forget about or abandon those in desperate situations. We will do our best to establish contact with those who cannot find a way out of their suffering. Those cries for help, justice, equality, and human rights are not being heard. We know that hell can be found in many places on earth. We will do our best not to contribute to creating more hells on earth, and we will help transform the hells that already exist. We will practice in order to realize the qualities of perseverance and stability, so that, like the earth, we can also be supportive and faithful to those in need. When we aspire to be present where there is darkness, suffering, oppression, and despair, we are Krishnagarbha. We invoke your name, Sarapara. We aspire to learn your way of looking deeply with the eyes of non-description in order to see the true qualities of others. Whenever you meet anyone, you bow respectfully and say in appreciation, I respect you deeply. You are a future Buddha. We vow to look deeply into ourselves, to recognize the positive qualities that are there, to help and to help ourselves. We vow only to water positive seeds in ourselves and in those around us. By doing so, our thoughts, words, and deeds give rise to self-confidence and acceptance of ourselves, our children, grandparents, and all those we know. We vow to look deeply in the eyes of non-discrimination, to see that the joy and success of the other person is also our joy and success. We vow to behave and to speak with humility and respect. We vow to practice loving speech to help people who underestimate themselves see the wonders of the universe. We know that only when we are able to transcend the barriers of a self-self shall we be able to transform the superiority, inferiority, and equality complexes and realize true happiness and freedom. When we aspire to never disparage or underestimate any being, we are Sadaparibhuta. And we bow. And now, if our Bodhisattva graduates would stand, we are going to commit to the 10 Bodhisattva vows. And anyone in here who has already taken the Bodhisattva class, would you join us in that, please? When I read these, if you do, accept we do. Do you accept the gift to not do harm, but cherish all life? If you violate this precept, you will destroy your seed of compassion. Therefore, you will not be able to go forth on the Bodhisattva path.
We do.
Do you accept the gift not to take what is not given, but respect the things of others? If you violate this precept, you will destroy your seed of virtue. Therefore, you will not be able to go forth on the Bodhisattva path.
We do.
Do you accept the gift? Do not engage in sexual misconduct, but practice purity of mind and self-restraint. If you violate this precept, you will destroy your seed of purity. Therefore, you will not be able to go forth on the Bodhisattva path.
We do.
Do you accept the gift? Do not lie, but speak the truth. If you violate this precept, you will destroy your seed of truth. Therefore, you will not be able to go forth on the Bodhisattva path.
We do.
You accept the gift to not involve yourself in the trade of liquors and drugs, which confuse or weaken the mind, but keep your mind calm and clear. If you violate this precept, you will destroy your seed of wisdom. Therefore, you will not be able to go forth on the Bodhisattva path.
We do.
Do you accept this gift to not speak of the misdeeds of others, but to try to understand them with sympathy? If you violate this precept, you will destroy your seed of friendship. Therefore, you will not be able to go forth on the Bodhisattva path.
We do.
Do you accept the gift to not praise yourself nor condemn others? If you violate this precept, you will destroy your seed of respect. Therefore, you will not be able to go forth on the Bodhisattva path.
We do.
Do you accept the gift to not withhold your aid, material or spiritual, but give freely of yours wherever there is need? If you violate this precept, you will destroy your seed of wealth and generosity. Therefore, you will not be able to go forth on the Bodhisattva path.
We do.
Do you accept the gift not to hold on to anger, but be forgiving? If you violate this precept, you will destroy your seed of happiness. Therefore, you will not be able to go forth on the Bodhisattva path.
We do.
Do you accept the gift not to disparage the Trinity, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, but uphold them? And if you violate this precept, you will destroy your seed of faith. Therefore, you will not be able to go forth on the Bodhisattva path.
We do.
Now, usually this would be prostrations at this point for the candidates, but there's just not enough room. So they're going to do 3 deep bows. First bow to the Buddha. Three. Now 3 bows to your teacher. And now 3 bows to your family and friends. And now 3 bows to the Sangha, all of the Sangha. And now, Kaji-shi, would you come up? This ceremony, at this point, if you've never seen it before, you'll wonder what the heck we're doing. Yeah. So if It's a choice whether or not you want to do this. And what it is when you take the precepts, you get one incense and it's put on your arm. And this is a show of the seriousness of what you've committed to. With the Bodhisattvas, it's 2 incense. If you go on, you become a Dharma teacher, it's 3 incense. And then if you really want to get crazy, you become a monk and you have a candle that goes out on your arm. So right now, we've got the 3 incense. Kunganima. They didn't give you your certificates. That's interested in what a certificate looks like. I'm sure that our graduates, now that they've accepted, they're no longer candidates. We now have graduates of the Bodhisattva program for our time. So we'll give you those later. They're quite beautiful, I think. And Kuma designed them. And I have totally, oh my goodness, forgive me, John. John is here because he has COVID. So everyone, hi, John.
Hi, John.
And John,
Congratulations.
yes, congratulations. You are now a Bodhisattva too.
Yeah.
Like all of us. But you know, really, I want to kind of hammer that in. These people dived deeply into this practice for 8 months. There was a book, The Way of the Bodhisattva. There was a particular meditation, Satipatthana. They committed to memorization and meditation and prostrations, and to practice this in all of their affairs. But every one of you sometimes is a bodhisattva. And when you say those vows at the end of our Dharma talk, you're saying that. You're saying, I'm going along here. And you know what? If you don't want to ever take the class, that's fine. You can be a practicing Buddhist. So there's some old timers here that haven't done the precepts, haven't done the Bodhisattva class, don't desire to do it. Fine. There is nothing the matter with that. But if you want to really deepen your practice, we will begin this sometime in January again. There's the precept class that Reverend Kunga will be doing in a couple months, or September. Yeah. And then if you've completed that, you want to do the Bodhisattva class, then that'll happen in January. So now, starting with Reverend Kunga, they're going to tell you a little bit about their experience with this. So you can all be seated and accept Reverend Kunga.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you all for coming today. So the Bodhisattva class is a really interesting experience for me. When I joined the temple, it was during COVID. So all the my work with Amko and Yong had all been virtual, until the temple opened. So I actually did my precept class had one student, me, and Amko. And then Igesu and I were both in the Dharma student training program, hoping to take the Bodhisattva class. But it didn't happen that year. We just, I think we were still recovering from COVID, so we didn't have the opportunity to take it till now. So the class is really, really a great experience to get to know other people in the Sangha a lot more intimately. And really a good opportunity to take these ideas that we've been learning about, like you sort of learn about them in the precept class, you learn about the teachings of the Buddha, the Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path. But then when you get to the Bodhisattva class, you're trying to take these teachings and actually put them into your life. In some of my talks, I've talked about a Buddha with three bodies, a physical body, a teaching body, and a wisdom body. So like we get familiar with the Buddha's physical body, which is like, what the Buddha looks like, what his life looked like. We start to think about how that's reflected in our own life. And then with the Bodhisattva class, we take the teachings and we try and incorporate the teachings directly into our life. Through our meditation practice, through having a daily prostration practice, through recitations, which is really taking, some of the sutras and some of the chants we do here, and then memorizing them so that you can use them whenever you want, wherever you are. So, I think those are the things that I found most valuable in that class, in addition to just getting to sit down every month and talk with the other Bodhisattva students, about how their practice was going. Like you may not be having a great month, or maybe there's certain parts of practice are more difficult for you than others, but then you can hear from other people maybe having the same challenges, or maybe some people that are inspirational. So like they're doing stuff, you're like, oh, wow, maybe I can try a little harder. Look how much they're able to do. So I just recommend it for any of you. Take the precept class in the fall. And then if after that, if you'd like to take the Bodhisattva class in the winter, in January, we're happy to have you. Thank you.
Kaji Stu, we forgot the stoles.
Oh, we did.
Yes, would you please give each
I'll get some.
graduate a stole?
Probably we're going to do those with the certificates, probably. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of.
Sorry, I'll throw it over. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm Igesu, and Kunga covered pretty good amount of, gave everybody a pretty good idea of what happens in this program. And we did follow a very similar path. I took the precepts during COVID. I joined the temple at the end of 2020 and took the precepts and was kind of like, all right, what's next? And then it was waiting for the Bodhisattva class and being a part of the Dharma Council as an intern. And so things were a little backwards for us. We ended up becoming Dharma teachers before we finished the Bodhisattva class. But I feel like there was always this preparation of excitement of wanting to be a part of it and wanting to continue this training and this practice. I actually read all of the material for the Bodhisattva class a year ago before I took the Bodhisattva class in preparation for the Bodhisattva class. So something to think about if you're like, is this the path for me? The book that we study is The Way of the Bodhisattva, or the Bodhicharyavatara by Shantideva. And then we look at Pema Chodron's explanation of that sutra, or that poem, sutra, verses, right? So when we're in this class, we are aiming to practice with the 6 paramitas. And I'm going to pull out my little list here because my brain starts to go when I'm staring at a bunch of faces. So we have generosity, discipline, patience, diligence, meditative concentration, and wisdom. And throughout the 8 months, we bring all of those things into our practice. When we are coming up against emotions that are hard to handle or situations that are challenging. In our class, quite a few of us experienced death or the incredible sickness of somebody close to us. So there was a lot of opportunity for practice and transformation. There was also unexpected events that happened. And we were able to look through that through the eye of practice, through the eye of a bodhisattva. And I think for me personally, what I got out of this class was the ability to think less of myself. And I don't mean that as like a, devalue myself. I see that as more of a bringing value to a unity of a community. So being together with people, it's more of an us, not me, us kind of mentality. And so I'm really glad and happy that I'm able to have that in my practice now and in my life now, and going forward, continuing to be able to cultivate that with more confidence because of this class. So I want to say thank you to all of my fellow bodhisattvas, you too, John. We're still thinking of you, as well as the Sangha, because without you, I can't be here. If we didn't have a Sangha in Grand Rapids, I know I wouldn't be here studying with you all. I wouldn't have learned the same lessons that I got to learn. So thank you all, and thank you to my teacher for making this possible.
Well, that's a tough act to follow. 2 teachers who are speakers here. But I think that I don't have maybe quite as articulate, insightful, things to say. But to talk about my experience in the Bodhisattva class, what I learned was the academic parts of the class, to touch on the book, the Bodhicharyavatara, or rather Becoming Bodhisattvas, which is Pema Chodron's sort of dissection and commentary on the Bodhicharyavatara, which was super insightful. I loved this book very much. There's a lot of things that you can bring into your daily life through that. The study of the paramitas, which we learn, all of the memorizations and recitations, which as you begin memorizing and reciting these things every day in your daily practice, it was amazing to me how much they just popped into my head. So as I would go around memorizing these things and then reciting them on my drive to work and my drive home, just throughout my day, then I would be doing something and go, oh, it's just pop in my head. Oh, that's this, or, that's this paramita. That's this, do not tell a lie. Little things like that, as you're learning the Bodhisattva vows and everything. So, so recitation, memorization, reading the book, all of those things, but really I learned through those things about myself. And that was really awesome. I learned, 2 weeks into the Bodhisattva class, our son had an accident where they were left with their a below the knee amputation to their leg. And right at that time, at the beginning of the class, I thought, is this going to be something that's going to sort of derail my classwork, and I'm going to maybe not see the best in myself through this incident. And the opposite actually happened, where I was able to lean into the Bodhisattva class group, the things that we were learning about at the time, and walking through the hospital, sitting in the rooms there every day and seeing the people. I was just filled with such gratitude. It was amazing, the amazing people that came forward to support us, and I felt gratitude in my heart, just blossoming in that way. Through that, compassion for others, bodhicitta, which we learned about, awakening mind for motivation towards compassion. So all of those things I was able to sort of cultivate within myself, and I surprised myself a lot of times that those things just sort of cultivated and whatnot. And I was reminded a lot of the words, some of my favorite words by my precept teacher, Jingsu Ryan Duffield, who said at one point that, and I'm paraphrasing, but like awakening is like a mountain, and we're all trying to get to the mountaintop. But there are many, many, many paths. So you don't have to walk on, there's not just one path that reaches the top of the mountain. And for me, that was super helpful, because at that time and through the beginning of the class, those words echoed in my mind as I was thinking to myself, am I doing this right? Am I meditating the way I'm supposed to be? Am I doing these prostrations right? Am I acting the way I'm supposed to be acting? And I kept hearing his words, and that helped me to be able to find my own path. And then it felt like as I was walking my own path, the more I would learn, the more my eyes would open, and I would see the distance I had come, but the distance I still had to go seemed just to be getting greater and greater. The more I learned, I was like, geez, it kind of shined a light on kind of how messed up I was, in my thought process and in the way that I had been. So it seemed like the further I walked on the path, the further it was that I had to go. And at some point in the Bodhisattva class, I had the realization that I think I will take away, which is that the purpose is not the destination. The purpose was not to get to the mountaintop or to reach awakening or to get anywhere. The purpose was finding my path and walking on it. And that was the purpose and is the purpose. So for me, so all of that stuff has been extremely insightful. And just to echo what these teachers have said, I would highly recommend the precept class, the Bodhisattva class, to anyone, because it's been extremely fruitful for me, and a great thing that I've done in my life. So, and thank you to everyone. Thank you to Yong. Thank you to all of my Bodhisattva classmates. Thank you to all of the Sangha. I'm so grateful for everyone.
I just want to say something for a minute.
Yes,
Jeff. To put you on the spot, but you did it to yourself. Jeremy did an amazing job. What a tragedy. He gets a phone call, and then his son has lost his leg, and he's talking to his son as he's waiting for the ambulance to come. That is Buddhism. You might get so caught up in a tragedy, but he used it as an opportunity to deepen his practice. And that's really where we want to go. That's where the rubber meets the road. Is this practice going to do something for you, or isn't it? And it did something for Jeremy. And he made the decision. And that doesn't mean, well, I still got to meditate an hour a day. I mean, maybe you only sit, you're just so overwhelmed with whatever. Maybe you only sit for 5 minutes, but you put your mindset, you take an opportunity when you're in the car to do nothing but drive. You can meditate standing up, sitting down, lying down. You can meditate in a sense 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You just focus on what you're doing. You're washing the dishes, wash the dishes. So anyway, Jeremy, I really appreciate you and how you're living.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jeff, or Upaya, and I joined the temple last spring in 22. I was a solo practitioner for a long time and decided to come in out of the cold and came to Grand Rapids. It's a bit of a drive, like 45 minutes each way, but it's certainly worth it. So I found you guys. I found the value really of coming and being part of the Sangha, and to practice with other people on the same path is wonderful. So I took the precept class last fall and really, studied some more, and then joined the Bodhisattva class. And it's really made a difference to me. There's a world of difference between having a meditation practice and reading and studying and even coming to service, and then having the Dharma practice be part of my life every day. Most of the day, every day for 8 months. And so, studying, doing recitations, and I do now chant a bit when I'm working in my workshop, and just adding these new things. Also discovered a new talent for memorization. Who knew? Yeah, I guess you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but yeah, I just it was strongly recommended. Made a lot of difference for me, and looking forward to seeing more of you guys.
Good morning, everyone. My name is in front of the camera. My name is Ashton Changosu. Good morning. I took my precepts some years ago and decided I wanted to deepen my practice a bit more. I think I saw an opportunity in my habitual tendencies and habits and thoughts that I saw an opportunity to try and do a bit better. And so I joined the program, and at first I was a bit intimidated because it was 8 months and committing to, a daily meditation practice and a prostration practice and a studying practice. And as a father of 2 young children and a homeowner and a job, I was like, how could I possibly do all this? But I'm really glad that I took the stretch and put the effort in. I can say, looking back over the last 6 months, I was far from perfect, but I think I also had a few of the most impactful periods of my life, I think, where I was able to prove to myself what I am capable of in terms of discipline and showing up for people and being more compassionate and empathetic and being a better wife and husband and employee and all of these things. And it's not like it's a constant practice and a constant, recommitment and a constant effort. Definitely not a destination. So yes, Young-Soo, I'm very grateful for your support and guidance, and all of my classmates. Thank you all so much. Having the studying of Shantideva and his teachings, along with Pema Chodron's reflection and discourse, I think was really inspirational. There were periods where I would go a few days without reading, and I'd kind of lose a bit of steam in my practice, and I would read these teachings, and it was so inspirational. And also talking with the others and talking to folks at the Sangha is continuously inspirational. So very grateful for the experience and for the opportunity. Thank you all.
And now, yeah. Gail was with us also. She had taken the Bodhisattva class before, so she chose not to be up here. She's already done that, but she was an integral part of that class, and we all enjoyed you. So thank you for reminding me. Okay, there we go. So now we turn to joys and concerns. If you have something, either one, a joy you want to share or a concern, share that with the Sangha. And we'll pass around the mic. So anybody?
Last week, I had the profound privilege of being with my baby brother. He was 11 months younger than I. He went into hospice in Phoenix, Arizona. So I was with both he and his family throughout his journey into the Bardo. It was an incredible experience. And my being a participant in the Bodhisattva class with all of you was an incredible inspiration and help. And just please hold my brother Bob in your hearts and in space.
I have a joy. I'm pretty happy that people are starting to be able to kind of graduate. I'm kind of happy that people are starting to be able to graduate to the Bodhisattva. Yeah.
No. Okay. Well, I have one concern. One of our Sangha members lost a dear friend to suicide very recently. That is hard for all of us. It is hard for me because I have tried that to the point where I was in the hospital, incubated, and my kids and family were told I may or may not make it. That was Pearl Harbor Day, December 7th, is the day I woke up. This year will be 16 years, or I've been clean and sober. I'm bipolar. I also have a son who's bipolar and did the same thing. And I was in the room with him and didn't know whether he was going to live or die. The reason I wear this, you may wonder, this Shuji, my teacher, sewed this for me, and blue is suicide prevention. It's so hard. It's so stigmatized. But I can tell you from the bottom of my heart, the people that I know that have tried it, we really believe that the world would be better off without us. That's how far down, I can't speak for everyone. And the other thing, I read an article. I don't know how many people it was, but there were several people that survived jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge. And every one of them said as soon as they left that bridge, they regretted it. So if you want to talk about suicide anytime, with me, yongsu.zengr.org. I'd be happy to talk because it's a tough one. And my heart goes out to our Sangha member and his friend. So we will begin and end just a moment of holding all these in our hearts, and begin and end with one strike of the bowl. And we bow. So now I think it's time for announcements. Anybody have an announcement? Nope. Ambo. Oh.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kate or Ambo, and I'm so lucky to be part of this Sangha. And I'm so grateful for this temple, as I'm sure all of you are. And we have this temple, and it operates solely because of your help, your donations and generosity, whether that's service or monetary. No one that offers service here is reimbursed not monetarily reimbursed. They probably receive something for doing it, but they don't get any financial compensation. If you'd like to support this temple monetarily, there are Dana boxes. They're at either entrance right above the table. And there's a QR code on the box where you can link with PayPal. You can also go to our temple website, zengr.org/donate. Let's see. If you're watching on YouTube, you can select the link under the Show More option on the video. And I think that, did I mention the QR code? Okay, then that's it. Oh, and if you're interested in service to the temple, you can often find that in the newsletter, so check there. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ambo.
Good morning, everybody. My name's Nikki, or Hao Su. I am on the board of directors, and I also serve as treasurer for the temple. I'm going to read my note here so that I don't twist up my words. It is stated in our bylaws that we make our financials available to our members at the end of each fiscal year, which runs July 1 to June 30th. You can find this updated information on the bulletin boards at both entrances, front and back here. And there's also a bulletin board downstairs in the community room where you can see that information. It's also in the newsletter. Not sure this week, but definitely last week. And as always, we're grateful for your support, and thank you very much.
Thanks, Nikki.
Yes.
Anything else? Oh, yeah. But I was asking for them first. Yes. Thank you. We have board of directors that's July 16th, but this says August announcements. Third week in August, next week, board of directors and the Dharma Council meet. We have Buddhist-based recovery programs happened at the temple on Monday, at the Alano Club on 1020 College on Wednesdays, and on Fridays at Garfield Park and on Zoom. We have an online meditation group that meets on Wednesdays from 7:30 to 8:15. There's a Zoom link, and you can contact Reverend Kunga for more information. The power of a question, less suffering and more joy, is going to start August 20th from 2:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Meets at the temple. Registration ends today. Susan McFarland for more information. The 5 precepts, we talked about that. Is going to be every Sunday from September through December. And you'll meet at the temple from 11:15 a.m. to 12:15 for discussion. And you'll also come and help set up the temple before things start. Registration ends September 1st, and that's Reverend Kunga again. Fundamentals of Buddhism is going to be October 7th on a Saturday from 9 a.m. to noon at the temple, and registration ends the end of September. And also see Reverend Kunga for more details. That it? All right, folks. If we stand and we'll recite our closing gathas. Oh, yes, we have a potluck afterwards. Right. What? Reception. Better. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, yes, it's a reception. So the closing gathas are on page 9. For all unskillful actions ever committed by me since of old, on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thoughts, now I atone for them all. Vast is the robe of compassion, a formless field of benefaction. I wear the Buddhist teachings for the benefit of all sentient beings. All beings, one body, I vow to liberate. Endless blind passion, I vow to uproot. Dharma gates without number, I vow to penetrate. The great way of Buddha, I vow to attain. Now, right down the middle, face each other and see each other about. Thanks all. Hope to see you all downstairs.
Can we recite the 5 contemplations for the potluck?
Yeah, if you want. Well, is it in there?
They are in there, so if you'd like to.
A little half sheet.
There's little half sheets. Yes.
We say together, this food